Good fam? Queen Common Sense coming back to you from the Chi Town, holding it down, remix to the Kakalaka Sticks. Yeah. Phew. Work the plantation today, y'all. Sister tired. Okay. This healer needs some healing. I've been laying low, peeping some stuff around here on Instagram and stuff. And I caught wind of Black Mamba Marceau, the remedial gaslighter. Mm. And word on the curb, stuff, stuff was popping, back when I did that video about, Black and the reviews of Black, the people who came from out of town to Black, and Black was closed. Okay, which had nothing to do with anything but their poor business acumen and laziness. All right, period. That's my opinion from where I sit. I call a spade a spade. I call a strike. And I don't care if I dislike you and you tell the truth. I'm going to say, damn, that's true. If I like you and you lie, I'ma still say that's a lie. Okay, so I none of us have anything to gain about being delusional. Okay, some of us just like to lie to ourselves and pretend that it ain't what it is. All right, so peep this, and this is why I come to you with more animated insanity. Okay, doing the same thing over and over and over again in real time, expecting different results. It's not going to change a damn thing. Peep this.
How much you water a fake plant, it's not going to have any effect. No matter how much emotion, no matter how much time, love, compassion you show people, if people don't want to change, they are not going to change. If people don't want to reciprocate what you give, they're not going to reciprocate what you give. The problem with people with good hearts is they fall in love with the idea of something and not the reality. They see the good in people and not the facts. They know that people can change, but they refuse to believe that some people won't change. And so they fall in love with the idea that someone can be better, not will they become better. And so they fall into this cycle where they get stuck of wanting to make somebody into something that they'll never be. People can change, true, but some people never will, and that's a fact. And so you have to be able to decipher from what a reality of them is, the reality of them and what they choose to do in their life, and your emotions. Your emotion says they can be this, and their reality says, I don't want to. And you have to be able to live with that. That's just a fact, man. No matter how much you
All right. It's fact and what we would like to believe. Okay. Which is a wonderful segue into the next thing that I would love to go over. It's out there already. We kind of peeped it, and those who still watching this crap, I'm sure they saw it in its entirety. I care not. But I ran across this clip and I decided that I would discuss it and see what my family think about it. Okay. We gonna be called the intellectuals over here. I think. I don't know. I haven't come up with a tribe name yet, but we will come up with something. So drop them eagle feathers in the comment section if you feel me about keeping it all the way a band over here. We call a strike, a spade, and a devil, okay? And that piece that I shared with you His name is Officer Parker, Gregory Parker on IG. Go check him out. Very wise brother. Okay. Officer underscore Parker dot G on IG. That is how it struck me. That's how I feel about Black Mamba, Marceau, and Tinkerbell Tisha. No matter how much you water a fake plant, that joker just not gonna grow. Now, we all know for a little while there, last summer, around there, Black had some openings and some closings, back and forth, up and down, in and out, round and round. Okay. And none of the real people checking for Black. Okay. Um, we all know they started to inject the millimeters into the middle of this bullshit this season. They was inching up on it last season. Okay, because the hate got so real, they didn't have no more straws to reach for. So they saw us over here in millimeter world minding our own damn business. So they said, you know what, we got to try to figure out how to get their attention back because now these folk ain't even watching the show. So we don't even have a way to manipulate them into the kerfuffle. So now we got to create another lie to try to cover up the first lie to keep further deflecting from the fact that we basically ain't shit. That's just the way I see it. Okay, that's just my personal opinion. Okay, very much like season one when they tried to goad Melody back into the comeback group. She was like, no, thank you. I shall proceed on my own and do what I need to do without all of this bickering. And that's exactly what she did. Okay. Now, I'm torn because I made a mistake and I read the comments on this here post that we're about to talk about, and it triggered me a little bit. The reason why I get so triggered with people who lie, and I don't know Melody from the paint on my walls. She doesn't know me from the paint on hers. Okay? But I know gang stalking, I know hateration, and I know jealousy when I see it. And I don't care who you are, what walk of life you come from, how much money you got in the bank. A liar is a fucking liar. Period. Okay? Now, this scene, we all know what it is. They over here whining about somebody came on homecoming, whatchamacallit, day, the big game day, homecoming day at their alma mater, and shut Black down. Okay? Not that we give a damn, okay, but it happened. And do I wish bad on anybody's business? Oh, no, not at all, because I've been a business owner myself and I know how it feels to have not just strangers hating on you, but family hating on you. I've heard it all, I think. Uh, so that's another reason why I resonate so well with Melody's journey because you can bend over backwards and work the skin off of your fingers to establish something that is going to be a benefit to everybody that's connected to you, whether they see your vision at the time or not. And they will do everything under the sun, moon, and stars to try to sabotage, delay, inhibit, block, and debase and reduce your dreams and vision down to the lowest form. And just like Melody did, sidestep them hoes. Okay, keep pushing because nobody is going to invest in and love you the way you do. And I'm all for a fighter. But this here, I'm sorry, it's a huge pile of horse manure because we all know for a fact that Black was not up to code on quite a few points when it comes to the health department and when it comes to uh zoning. Okay, so what we need to do, what I recommend to the Scots is just keep it funky. Stop lying. Okay, stop playing like y'all don't know what was going on when Black got shut down. Okay, because word on the curb is whenever they do have functions, and this is from people who live in that neighborhood in Uptown. This is not a rumor. This is people who live in the vicinity of 3 to 4 blocks of Black who are also established business owners who have patrons that need to utilize the space that they have set for their business, like parking. Okay. Black will have events, and Black's patrons will go across the street to the funeral home and park in their parking lot without permission and leave all kind of litter and debris and just disgustingness out in their parking lot, or cars are blocking, impeding the funeral home patrons from freely entering and exiting on that property. Now, I'm all about being neighborly. You know, if my business is closed and you are after hours joint or a cocktail happy hour type of deal, then just come holler at me. Be like, you know what? When you're closed, is it okay if some of my people use your parking for safety reasons or what have you, so they can be, have a good enjoyable time with their car, knowing that it's parked safe within eye shot, and we can work out a deal. Maybe I can rent your lot from you during these times. We have these certain hours. We have these special events at night, and we'll make sure everything's clean, neat, and back in order for business the next morning for you. You know, I had a wonderful stylist, hairstylist, cosmetologist who used to do that all the time. Her lot was huge. She had lots of clientele, but there was a bar across the street, and that mom and pop bar was pretty popular. So they worked it out where she was like, sure, just throw me something every month. We'll draw it up on a document, and your events can use my space or whatever. You want to do a valet type of setup, and we can split it down the middle. Okay? Do it like that. Make sure you got all your permits and everything in order, and we'll sign on a dotted line, and no harm, no foul. Just as long as you keep your noise down to a dull roar and make sure everybody's cleared out of here before I open up my shop. Happens all the time in Chicago. People do that all the time. Subletting parking. That's why they can charge you now in the upwards of $35 just to park your car in the city. Yes, 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 and yes. $35. That's for the whole entire evening. But if you want to get a close spot where you don't have to walk or risk falling into a crater in the street, you'll pay that $35. It's worth it. Trust me. Okay. Now, let's peep this where they, professional victims here, where they done shut down Blaque. And keep in mind, this was several months ago, around last summer, I want to say, summer-ish, spring-ish, summer-ish. And like I said, I did that video where I showed the people who said, I just came to Blaque because I heard about it. I seen it on the show. I wanted to come say hi. These folks was closed. No dice. Okay. Now, peep how they deflect. Okay. Let's go.
Not well. How are you?
I'm fine. Blaque was shut down yesterday. And of course, MarsHEAUX is extremely unhappy about this situation. Come to find out, we have some haters that's been calling the city, complaining about multiple issues. None of them are true, of course.
This is the second time that they've tried to close it down.
I know.
Like, they come in here on homecoming evening, like 4 hours before, and say, hey, we're shutting it down. So you got all, police, fire department, zoning, health, everybody comes in. And I have to go down there and fight at the mayor's office just to get it open for that evening. It's like they want to be gatekeepers because they feel that I didn't go through the guys at the church and they've had businesses for 100 years. And I'm like, dude.
So they want you to like kiss up behind them or run up behind them.
I don't know. A large event.
Oh, First of all, why are 40-somethings holding homecoming football game parties at a bar that's supposed to be a restaurant? Okay. Did you finish installing the kitchen, MarsHEAUX? Listen, don't mess with me. Don't play with me, yo. Okay. You never know who knows what and who knows who. Okay. You never know. So it's best to always tell the truth. That's just what I'm saying. It's my opinion. And when you start off on the wrong foot with established business owners, entrepreneurs, and in a seasoned, established neighborhood like Uptown, you better have your shit together. And that's coming from somebody who grew up in a small town suburb. And it's the same thing up north as it is down below the Mason-Dixon line, minus the blatant racism. Because in Chicago, they know better. Okay. Now, here in Huntsville, it's so small, it's a different type of hierarchy because this is the Bible Belt, one of the states of the Bible Belt of the South. So lots of clergy people and officers of the church have established businesses, and they sit on a lot of the board of trustees and city council and stuff like that. Aldermen, are also pastors, preachers, ministers, deacons, and stuff like that. And they're not the fake type of Christians. Okay. So you better make nice with these people if you want your idea and vision to go over well and be accepted into a seasoned community of hardworking people, well-to-do, with already have generational wealth that has been passed down to them to continue the legacy of whatever business they own, such as the funeral parlor across the street from Blaque. Okay. So yeah, you better make nice with the hierarchy of the Black community, okay? Because those are your people. And a lot of those people might be able to give you some pointers on how to navigate and sidestep a lot of static instead of coming in there thinking that you can muscle your way in there and not show respect to the people who are already there. Okay? Simple math. Let's go.
Led to a parking issue. Some community leaders.
Y'all heard that? The parking issue? You heard it?
Petitioned the city to shut Blaque down. I do feel alienated. We do feel that we've been unfairly targeted. And it's people that are outside of the community that are petitioning for something inside of the community to be shut down. I think that the challenge with
If it's people from outside of the community petitioning for this business that's inside of the community to get shut down, how come it's a parking issue? How would people from outside of the community know that it's a parking issue? It had to be people from inside of the community to know that it was a parking issue. When you parking on other people's property without permission, you just take it upon yourself, take liberties to trespass and take over other people's space. If they didn't give you permission to park there or your customer's permission to park there, why are you parking there? So yeah, you're gonna piss people off if you keep doing it, and then you do it in such a brazen manner where you don't even make it look like you haven't been there. My grandmother used to teach me all the time when we would go out doing our philanthropy. She would take me out to volunteer to different places like the food pantries, the soup kitchen where they feed the homeless, the, sick and shut in auxiliary where we would go visit all the sick or shut in people who could not get out to church every Sunday. And back then, the pastor would come pray for you and have a mini service for you if you were bedridden or wheelchair bound or homebound in any way. That's elderly, young folk, special needs. It didn't matter. That's how it was back then. So, you know, my grandmother would be like, you know what? Wherever you touch, leave that area better than the way you found it. So even if you walk into someone's room or kitchen or whatever, you're in a space and you're utilizing this space. You walk in there, if it's a mess after you do your function or you have your event, you leave it better, cleaner than the way you found it, because that way is how you gain favor. And when you have God's favor with people, they don't mind waiving that deposit the next time around. Or they don't mind just saying, hey, we know you're going to bring a great crowd, a great energy, a great event. Don't even worry about that deposit and the cleanup fee, because every time we rent to the church of so and so people, they always come through with the come through and make sure we're solid when they leave. And they always pay their bills. So that's favor. Don't worry about it. You've been doing this for years. It's on me. We'll take care of that fee or what have you, whatever, and have at it. That's how I learned integrity. That's how I learned consistency, was how my grandmother dealt with people who were less fortunate than her. Okay. She didn't treat them like she didn't need them, because she understood that there was a community and it takes all levels of energy to create that community. Just like underneath a tree, there's a community underneath that tree, from where the pollen drops, the rain, the different minerals in the soil, the earthworms, the crickets. That's a community. The ants. Okay. So even though that ant might seem tiny and insignificant, once you burrow down beneath that surface, you'll see the most sophisticated tunnel you'll ever run into underground with the ant colony. That's a community. Okay. So if you disrespect your community, guess what's gonna happen? They're gonna evict you. Let's go.
what we've been doing is that we've been doing it BMDS, by my damn self, and I would like some help. Their reasoning for shutting it down is saying because we owe use tax. A use tax, which means that
On the furniture and stuff like that.
for all the furniture.
But we paid taxes when we purchased this.
This stuff came off Wayfair and Amazon.
Right.
You know what I hate? Planning for homecoming, everything was so costly.
Mm-hmm.
No wonder it looks so cheap. and run down. You purchase stuff off of Wayfair and Amazon to put in a bar where you're gonna have events and gatherings like homecoming parties, partying like frat parties as grown ass adults, and you think Wayfair and Amazon is quality uh barista uh furniture? Really? You couldn't afford to order from a restaurant supplier? Let's go, y'all. I'm just saying.
And so tiresome as it is, who would have thought that during the midst of that, you have people calling the government officials saying, hey, stop Blaque from doing that. Moments like these really frustrate me.
I know. I'm sad for you because I know how hard you work on this stuff. I know the minute nights you're up here trying to get together, trying to figure out. Nobody gave you a blueprint to this, and you're just trying to do right. And it's sad because we brought the excitement back into the city. When we was in college, we didn't have a lot to do here. We don't have that type of stuff, that vibe like in Atlanta. This is what Blaque brought to Huntsville.
I mean, Blaque has become a staple in the community. I was up here just inside. You know how many cars ride by here? I had to go tell somebody, hey, we're not open today. A guy came and
The thing about not having a lot to do in a college town, you're supposed to be there to study and get an education to better and further your career and set yourself up for success in life, not grow up from a college student to a over the hill 40 plus something adult still trying to relive and recapture your college homecoming days. Okay? Established professional people don't want to hear that shit all night long. Folk got to go to work in the morning while you having your homecoming party. Okay? Let's go.
said, dang, man, I came from Jackson, Mississippi. Let me ask you a question. I'm being honest, all right? And I'm not just bragging. Where else in the city of Huntsville do people come from out of town to go? Besides the Space and Rocket Center.
That's true.
When you're out of town and people ask about Huntsville, what do they ask about? They ask about Blaque. Our money in North Huntsville, when you think about the cost of Scott Manor, let's just say a couple $1 million over there. When you say the cost of Uptown, a couple $1 million over here, then the duplex that we're building, another $500,000. Of that, how much has been given to us by the city? What have they put in theirs? We put money in their pockets. They don't.
You see how delusional MarsHEAUX is. And now we see why Tisha is such a scatterbrain. After listening to this man for 18 years, I wouldn't probably know if I was coming or going or not either. Okay? That's a lot like how Melody felt toward the end of her marriage as well. Like, I don't even know if I'm coming and going. I don't know what to believe, what not to believe. Let me just get the hell out of here so that I can find myself again, because this is ridiculous. And I'm not sorry about saying it. This is just ridiculous. This is the most phony, trumped up, histrionic load of horseshit that I've seen these two do in a very long time, you know? And this is cringy, sitting here listening to these two go back and forth like they actually really are clueless to why the city does not want a bar in the middle of a residential neighborhood. Like, oh, let's go.
Understand how the property value affects the property tax, affects the school system.
And the roads and all this stuff. Why do we have to keep investing here then? If the city don't care about us, why do we keep putting our money here?
The idea of us uprooting and taking it somewhere else, no. The comeback group is not an idea. It's our actual way of life. We're living in this area. Uptown, Scott Manor, those are parts of the earth that we own. We own this earth. It's our earth.
You think it's gonna make it harder though for us?
I don't give a I don't care. The one thing I can say that I believe, freedom ain't free. If we're not willing to fight for it, then we don't deserve to have it. And so the last thing I'm gonna let opposition do is put us in a position where we sell, where we tuck tail and we run to where it's easier. No. I'd be damned if I sell a whole establishment with my boys on the other side. Their picture in there. Whatever I'm legally entitled to, whatever I can fight, we'll take it to federal court. Somebody's gonna give a. This isn't stopping anything. This is just a call for us to just.
You already in federal court, bro. Okay. Because if you don't take care of the Zen Garden situation, you might be in federal prison. I'm just saying. Okay. It can happen. And we all know the history and legacy of the Scott brothers that y'all grew up poor. Reckless Reese done said it grew up poor, so y'all had to turn to them streets to help ends meet when Pops was locked up, okay, in Yale. You know, that's why they call it college. He went to Yale. What? Where? He went to college. That's how we used to say it in the city. He went to Yale or Harvard. You know that meant he went upstate to the big house. Okay, that was the county, Cook County. That's Joliet State Penitentiary. Okay, where they got Dobermans running around on the yard at night. So if anybody try to make a dash for it, they gonna get chewed the fuck up if they don't get pew pewed. Okay, so you better make it easier for yourself if you really want success and a legacy, because we all know these folks is broke. They couldn't even put their signature on a signature loan to buy the 52 acres because they was broke then, because Melody pulled the plug on her faucet and took her babies and dipped. What these two thought is, we're going to ride off of Melody's coattails. We're going to have the Holts do all the heavy lifting, and we'll reap the benefits of the overflow. And we'll just parlay that and make it look like we doing something. Peep game. See, that's the difference between Destiny and Melody, as well as Sloppy Stormy. Melody is street smart. Okay, she grew up in the upper echelon of the hood. Okay, she's far from ghetto, but she understands hood. Okay, because I was just like her growing up, very active in the church and in the community, but I peep game. You don't have to be of this in the street to be of the street. Okay? Just like you don't have to be in the world to understand the world and the worldly things that go on. Be wise as a serpent and gentle as a dove. Let's go.
Just be bigger and better.
Well, if you fight, I'm fighting with you.
Babe, listen, we're fighting. We're
We're in
fighting.
this together.
We're fighting. Storm isn't over. The fight is still on. And while you don't have to fight against others, you have to fight against yourself. You have to fight against people in the community. You have to fight against people that look like you. You have to fight against black leaders who think you're supposed to lick their boots in order to get ahead. Not Will.
I don't know, y'all. What do you think? It's just me. Is it just me? This is really cringy. It is got a whole lot of holes in it. I just, you know, it's now it's beyond ridiculous. This is comical and not in a good way. It's like, do these people really truly believe that they're an asset? That Blaque is an ass? You had complaints of no air condition, you know, maggots and flies in the restaurant, garbage that wasn't disposed of properly, a whole bunch of noise ordinance violations and whatnot. I really don't want to pull out the documents right now, but I will if I need to, because I have some. Okay. But, you know, I know some people that know some people. And I'm very well connected from being a civil servant in Chicago, being, a medivac EMT. We hit many different hospitals in many different places. Sometimes we have to go over out the country to get to certain specialists and stuff like that. So I have met and networked with quite a few folk, all right? And people talk, especially people who are movers and shakers and who are pillars of certain communities. All right. They have nothing to gain with picking on folks. And a lot of times in the South, when Black people, especially Christian, well established Black folk, put their foot down, it's because you are a nuisance. No other reason. Okay. Especially in Alabama. We just don't go around fucking with each other like that when you on that level. It's too much to lose. Does it happen? Yeah. But it's not as prevalent as this idiot would like you to think. I know what I'm talking about. Okay. And I went to an HBCU also in a small town in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Them Black folks are not playing with you. If you say you're going to open up a business and you want to add to the community, bring jobs and, beef up the economy and bring curb appeal and tourist appeal and all that shit, you better mean what the hell you say and stand on your business and stand on your square and be integral. That's all I got to say about that. So y'all tell me what you think. I think it's a bunch of hogwash. I think it's more poor acting, more professional victimhood, more gaslighting, more fugaga. Okay. I ain't gonna be before you long, but we gonna repeat this here right here with Officer Parker G. Okay, and we're gonna be out of here.
You water a fake plant, it's not gonna have any effect. No matter how much emotion, no matter how much time, love, passion you show people, if people don't want to change, they're not going to change. If people don't want to reciprocate what you did, they're not going to reciprocate what you did. The problem with people with good hearts is they fall in love with the idea of something and not the reality. They see the good in people and not the facts. They know that people can change, but they refuse to believe that some people won't change. And so they fall in love with the idea that someone can be better, not will they become better. And so they fall into the cycle where they get stuck of wanting to make somebody into something that they'll never be. People can change, true, but some people never will, and that's a fact. And so you have to be able to decipher from what a reality of them is, the reality of them and what they choose to do in their life, and your emotions. Your emotion says they can be this, and their reality says I don't want to. And you have to be able to live with that. That's just fact.